Today I fucked up, I met the person who has phone number I've been giving out as my number. Obligatory didn't happen today. When I go shopping or order things online I always give a phone number that is one digit different than mine because I don't want them to sell my info. By using the same number every time I am consistent if I'm already in the system. I've been using this number for about 10 years everywhere from JCPenney to Best Buy to financial services, etc. Yesterday I got a new client, and he had the same number I've been using as my fake number. I tried my best not to show any emotion to hearing it, but I asked him how long he's had that number. He said, oh, about 15 years, but I may get a new one because I get non-stop telemarketing calls. I told him, I get some once in a while too. Aren't they annoying, haha? He says, yeah, I think maybe someone is giving out my number because they keep asking if my first name is available. I said, that happens to me from time to time as well. People think I'm old homeowner's name, or boss's name. Oh well. Email me if you change your number. He says I will. Actually they ask for you pretty much all the time. What's your number? I bet they are getting us confused. It seems strange almost all of them ask for you, even thought we're not related. I gave him my work number. Too long didn't read. I've been giving out a fake number and met the guy who actually has that number in real life, and he gets telemarketing calls non-stop because of it. Edit. So tonight I had a meeting at the guy's office to go over a proposal. I spent too much time reading comments this afternoon, and felt bad, and I told him my personal number was one digit off from his. So he says, yeah, I figured everyone had misdialed for the last few years, or this might have been your old number. He knew right away when he saw my name. So, I never told him I had given every company on earth his number, not knowing it was him, but I did tell him I gave the wrong number at Guitar Center a few times. Don't ask me why I came clean for one place but not the rest of them. He laughed it off. So, I've learned not to give any more fake numbers, and I did bring the guy a gift card to Longhorn Steakhouse as thanks and take your wife out to dinner, when in reality I felt bad because I didn't think through my actions and many of you called me out. Congratulations /you/second Amia. This post has been chosen as the fuck up of the week. He says I will. Actually they ask for you sometimes. Weird. Oh well. He knows it's you and he's plotting his revenge. Some guy gave his father my phone number. His father calls from time to time asking to speak to his son. He yells at me because he thinks I'm the guy's girlfriend and I'm keeping his son away. It's really heartbreaking because obviously this guy's son has no interest in having the dad in his life. It may be easier for the father to think that some girl is keeping his son away. Someone did the same thing to me but with her grandparents. Each time they called I would have to explain again she wasn't there. One day they asked if they could just talk to me for a little while. Edit. People are asking if I did talk to them. I did. They were super nice and sweet, and before we hung up they wished me well at college. I didn't hear from them again. The last 4 digits of my phone number are 2345. I've always liked it because it was easy to remember, but one of the downsides is it's also a prime number for local girls to give out as a fake phone number to guys they don't actually want to talk to. I've gotten quite a few "Hey, this is dude's name from last night at the bar, what you doing today?" texts. I'm a 34-year-old man with a wife and 2 kids. It's gotten to the point where when I get one of those texts I just call them up and tell them they've been conned, because so far every one of them that I've texted, sorry, this isn't Andrea, she gave you a fake number, have never believed me and keep texting me every couple week hoping this time Andrea will stop playing hard to get and go on a date with them. Haha, I'm thinking this client sought you out. Yay, this is no coincidence. He got sick of it and did some research. Today I fucked up by honeydicking my wife after she found my used condoms, NSFW. Well brethren, I too wanted to partake in the great coconutting frenzy. Today was my day off and was also my wife's longest day of work. It should be mentioned she's on her period, and sex is out of the picture for her. I haven't busted a nut in roughly 4 days, and the idea of penetrating a milky coconut somehow thrilled me after reading the whole coconut fucking bonanza today. I went to the store, got a coconut and a bottle of wine to set the mood. After getting home, I uncorked the wine to get my buzz on and proceeded to open the coconut via hammer and nail. Once the hole was set into place, I expanded it appropriately to fit my member by using some of the utensils in the kitchen. Once I got a good fit after doing a test run, I found the hairs to be a little too much. I shaved her in the bathroom using my wall clippers. The preparations were made, the mood was set, and I opened up a pack of condoms and went to work on my new bitch. Fast forward a few hours later, and my wife comes home. All is well, we ate dinner and talked, usual bullshit. I knew I fucked up when she confronted me with the condom wrappers I had used. Apparently she found them in the trash can and freaked the fuck out asking who was over. I told her I cheated on her with a coconut. It took a lot of convincing and showing of Reddit threads to prove I didn't have anyone else over and I simply needed a good couple of FAP sessions alone. She was furious and I tried to console her by saying I'd never cheat on her with anyone. Just was having a hard time due to her time of the month and it seemed like a good idea. I'm not allowed to buy coconuts anymore. Skeptical. Too long didn't read, fucked my coconut with a condom, wife found them, thought I was cheating on her, had to fess up. If they were latex condoms then the oil in the coconut might have weakened it. If the condom tore then you might have gotten that coconut pregnant. In other news, there seems to now be a shortage of coconuts at supermarkets across the globe. Cashiers across the world who read it must be so weirded out when someone buys a coconut iron. If a hopeless romantic like you who breaks out wine to set the mood for a coconut can't get laid, what hope is there for the rest of us? I shaved her. Her? If I see even one of you dirty bastards in my local store, I am going to stare at you so hard. Shame, shame on all of you cocoa fuckers. Edit, thanks for the kind gold stranger. So penetrating a coconut is okay, but penetrating a coconut raw was not? Today I fucked up being on my period and getting drunk. So like the title said, I fucked up. It was after midnight, so technically today, by having my period and getting drunk. If you're one of those guys who nearly faints when someone mentions the word period, this post ain't for you, it will fuck up your life. My son's birthday was yesterday, so I've been running around all day catering everybody and making sure the kids don't break anything / each other. Somewhere around noon I noticed my period got heavy and I put in a tampon, and went back to my guests. Around 7 o'clock everyone left except my husband's best friend. I put the kids to bed and started to relax. I've had a wine or two during the day, and now with my kids in bed I treated myself to a glass of wine, and during the evening my husband and I got pretty wasted, which for me was kinda easy cause I hadn't had a drink in like 2 weeks. Around 11 my husband went to bed because he got tired and pretty bored with me and his friend because we were talking about games, watching trailers, that kind of stuff. And since I've got no game of friends I had a good time, getting drunker by the minute. Around 00:30 husband's friend decides to go home. This is where my FU begins. I was pretty drunk, and drunk me taught sexy time with husband was a good idea, cause let's face it, drunk sexy time is the best sexy time. But then I realized I still had my tampon in, so I had to get it out, also because it's dangerous to have it in for as long as I unknowingly had, but most because of my desired sexy time. I went to the toilet, ready to pull it out, when I realized I couldn't find it, or the string. After some fumbling around I could feel a little bit of the string, all the way tucked in. I spent about 15 minutes grabbing the string, trying to pull it out, only to feel like it was stuck, and I couldn't get a good grip at it. I was getting annoyed at this point. Fingering myself on the toilet in search of the lost tampon wasn't the kind of sexy time I had in mind. I decided to call the HAP. I live in Holland. Here we don't go to the ER for everything, we go to our homey doctor for small things like a cold, bump on the head, vaccinations, deep cut and so on. But outside working hours there is the HAP, which is like the on-duty doctor / nurse for like 50 doctors in the area. Trying to sound kinda sober I explained the nurse my problem. She was kind but firm. If I didn't get the fucker out in an hour, I had to come by and they would extract it. If I would wait till morning I would have it in for 20 hours and that is dangerous. That would mean I would have to wake up my husband not for sexy time but for I fucked up time, and we would have to get the kids out of bed. I wasn't gonna let that happen, primarily because I'm the hilarious one in our relationship, and I wasn't ready to hear "your pussy so big, tampons get lost" jokes for the rest of my life. So before this moment I was a woman on a mission, now I was Frodo trying to get this tampon out of Saruman's grip. Nurse mentioned trying to squat or take a relaxing shower. So here I was squatting in the shower with my hand in the depths of Erebor. Still not getting good enough grip. So I take the shower head, put the water stream on 10 and try to flush this white torpedo out. Guess what? Didn't work. This goes on like 15 minutes, time is getting scarce. Decide to lean against the wall squatting, and I finally have the string between the tips of my thumb and index finger. I am not letting go now. While I pull gently I push like I'm in labor, and what do you think? I finally pulled the fucker out. I felt ecstatic, leaned against the wall again in relief, feeling proud about my victory. Sexy time, here I come. Before I leave to shower I decide to take a closer look at the fucker, wondering why it took longer for me to give birth to this annoying bugger than with my youngest son. I look at it, lying in the corner, and my mind goes blank for a minute. Then I scream. I would have flipped out more if it was the wormy thing from Alien. Then the realization kicked in. I pulled out my fucking IUD. Insert drunken hyperventilation. OMG, I pulled out my IUD. It was just lying there in the corner like some aborted metal fishhook, all bloody and gross. If you think my FU ends here, think again. Keep in mind it's around 2/3 o'clock now. In my panic I decide to call my mom. Waking up husband isn't necessary anymore, couse, sexy time is off the table. My father answers the phone all sleepy, and I ask for my mom. Well sweaty, we were sleeping, whatever it is, I can help you, no need to wake your mother. Okay. I wanted to have sexy time with husband but him having my period I too couldn't get my tampon out but now pulled out my help. Daddy. Wake up, your daughter needs you. So now I explained to my mother what happened and she managed to calm me down, and said I needed to call the HAP again. So I did, got the same nurse, explained what happened. She consulted with her colleague, and asked me some additional questions to find out if I'm okay. Mom, are you shivering? Yes I am. Can you describe how bad? Well, I was in the shower, and now I'm standing in my bathroom all naked and wet for like 15 minutes now, so I'm getting kinda cold. Okay, that's a good explanation. Are you dizzy, Mom? Yes I am dizzy. Can you describe how dizzy? Well, I drank like a bottle of wine, that's how dizzy I am. Muffled laughter on the other end of the phone. Well, I guess that's okay also then. Are you bleeding down there? Yes I am. Okay sweetie, how bad is it? Well, I'm heaving my period, that is how bad it is. Oh yeah, I forgot, so that is normal also then. She suggested to go to bed, and if I felt worse I could stop by. The fact that I pulled out my IUD wasn't so different than when I would get it removed by a nurse. Also, she taught that would have happened more gently. No shit, Sherlock. There is still the mystery of the lost tampon. I think drunk me pulled it out earlier at night, but I have no clue. So for not letting go drunken sexy time, I'm now not gonna have sexy time for a few weeks till I get a new IUD. And because I didn't want to hear "yo pussy so big" jokes, now I'm gonna hear "remember when you got so drunk and horny you pulled out your IUD" jokes forever. Not to mention my parents now know I like drunken sexy time. So yeah, I fucked up today. Too long didn't read. Today I fucked up being on my period, getting drunk, and wanting sexy time. Mistake my IUD for my tampon, ripped it out after a 2-hour struggle, and woke up my parents to tell them I fucked up because I wanted to have drunken sexy time with husband. I did not get sexy time, nor will I get it for a few weeks. Edit. Wow, this really blew up after I went to sleep. Glad to see my drunken efforts brought so much laughter. And it's kinda nice to see all the shocked reactions, makes me feel a little less dumb for calling for my mommy in the middle of the night. Some additional info as requested. A IUD is a form of birth control. It's like a 2 cm big T-shaped metal thingy which is placed in your uterus, On the bottom of the T is a little string that sticks out your uterus all the way up your vagina, so that they can remove it. No, thank God it didn't hurt. Don't know if that was the whine of the fact that I gave birth to 2 kids. Yes, my fun zone is, apart from some trust issues, okay. Yes, I'm full aware now that I didn't have to tell my parents I wanted sexy time, but drunken and horrified me couldn't care less at that moment. I'm 32-year-old grown-up mother of 2, and yes, I called for my mommy. I could have asked husband to remove the lost tampon, but I figured after that sexy time wouldn't be an option for him, and since that was the goal I didn't ask him. Thank God, cause this would have scarred him for life. As for the lost tampon, I have no idea, I must have drunkenly removed it earlier. Else it still dwells in the depths of Erebor. Thanks for all the support, shocked reactions, compliments, laughter, silver, gold and platinum. This made my FU a little less embarrassing. Stupid question, what happened to the actual tampon? This is a question for the BuzzFeed Unsolved guys. My vagina just folded in on itself. Although I must say it was a great story. I gasped and put my hand over my mouth, Earl, when you said you pulled out your IUD. Oh no, I physically cringed. The thought of ripping out an IUD with my bare hands. Yeah, I'm still a little bit in shock, skeptical. This is the only thing that I have ever read in my life that has made me gasp and jump out of bed in horror. Holy shit. I can't even imagine how painful and scary that must have been. Thank God you were drunk. This is fantastic, as a story, poor you. Honestly, I'm mainly impressed you managed to get your IUD out. I thought at first it got stuck on your tampon somehow and you ripped it out that way. Can't even imagine the sheer panic you must have had throughout. I'm gonna hear this story at parties for a Luakong time, but I must admit it is kinda funny. I had no idea it was possible to rip it out. I'm glad I didn't damage anything.